We're all trying to be more productive, right? But what if we're chasing the wrong thing entirely? We tend to think the whole digital economy is just about getting faster tools to do our old jobs, just quicker. But the real transformation, the one that actually matters, isn't about speed. It's about a complete redesign of how we create value in the first place. When we get our hands on some new piece of tech, this is almost always the first question that pops into our heads. It's totally natural. We're trying to fit this powerful new thing into our old way of doing things. But here's the catch. While it's a normal starting point, that question puts a serious limit on our potential. It just keeps us on the same hamster wheel, just spinning a little bit faster. But the really strategic thinkers, they ask a completely different question. They're not just thinking about speed, they're thinking about systems. They ask, how can I build something that grows, that scales, without me having to pour in more and more of my own hours? And that is the absolute core of the digital mindset. It's a huge shift from thinking about linear effort to thinking about system design. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into why asking that one better question is so critical. Then, we'll unpack the 5 big mindset shifts that are reshaping how we work. After that, we'll get super practical and see how you can apply these ideas. And we'll wrap it all up with a playbook you can start using pretty much immediately. It really does all start right here. The moment you change the question you ask, you change your entire approach to everything. You stop just thinking about the next task on your to-do list, and you start thinking like an architect, actually designing systems that work for you. And that one simple change, it opens up a whole new world of possibility. Okay, so let's get into the heart of it. Let's unpack the 5 big shifts that really define this new digital mindset. You can think of these as the new rules of the game for anyone who wants to create real value and build a genuine competitive advantage today. First up, leverage. This is all about getting more out of what you put in. So instead of just working harder, you're using tools, you're using automation, and you're using really well-designed processes to multiply your impact. Honestly, in today's economy, leverage isn't just a nice-to-have, it is the absolute foundation of being able to scale anything. Think about it. The old way to solve a problem was just to throw more people at it, right? Just hope brute force would get it done. The new digital approach is totally different. You step back and you ask, what system can I build here? It's a massive shift away from just managing people to designing intelligent processes that do the heavy lifting for you. The second shift is direction. In a world where a lot of the actual doing can be automated, the real value comes from human judgment. Your ability to define the goal, to set the rules of the game, and to point all that technology in the right direction, that is what truly makes you valuable now. So, your value is shifting away from the physical act of doing the work. Instead, it's all about your strategic awareness, knowing what needs to be done, why it needs to be done, and then skillfully guiding the systems that actually carry out the tasks. You're the director, not the actor. Third, we've got the data advantage. And this is huge. Think about it. A competitor can copy your product's feature, but it is incredibly difficult for them to copy years of accumulated insight from your data. By capturing data and learning from it, you create this powerful feedback loop that just makes you smarter and smarter over time. This is where a real, long-lasting advantage is built. And it's actually a really simple but powerful cycle. You capture clean data, you organize it so it becomes useful insight, and then you use those insights to make better decisions. Every single time you go through this cycle, you refine your approach and you widen your lead over the competition. Okay, next up is automation. And look, this isn't about replacing people, it's about elevating them. The idea is to let systems handle all the repetitive, pattern-based work, which frees up our human brain power for what we do best, exercising judgment, handling weird, unique situations, and thinking creatively. It helps to think of it like this. If a task follows a consistent set of rules, that's a job for a system. But if it's an edge case, something unexpected that requires some real nuanced judgment, that's where human oversight is completely irreplaceable. The future of work is this powerful partnership between the two. And that brings us to our 5th and final shift, distribution. The tools to create something, whether it's a product, an article, a piece of software, they are more accessible today than ever before. Which means making the thing isn't the hardest part anymore. The real challenge, and where the real value is now, is in reaching an audience and earning their trust. It used to be that your technical skill was the main barrier to entry. Now, the biggest hurdles are things like reach, visibility, and trust.
I mean, you can build the absolute best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it or nobody trusts you enough to even give it a try, it just doesn't matter.
Okay, so we've walked through the 5 core principles. Now, let's bring this all down to earth and make it real. How can you start applying this digital mindset in your own work, like starting right now?
The cool thing is these shifts apply everywhere. If you're building a business, your main focus needs to be designing systems that can scale without you being the bottleneck. For your career, the goal is to become the person who guides the tools, not the one who's trying to compete with them. For your decisions, you have to let data inform your priorities, moving beyond just gut feelings. And when it comes to your positioning, you have to invest just as much in building trust and reach as you do in getting better at your craft.
If you take away just one single idea from all of this, let it be this one. Stop getting so caught up in the busy work and that endless surface activity. Your real job now is to focus on designing the system underneath it all. That right there is the essence of the digital mindset.
All right, let's tie this all together into a simple, actionable playbook. Think of this as your personal cheat sheet for putting these ideas into practice and really starting to redesign your entire approach to work.
So here it is, your playbook. Number 1, always think in systems, not just isolated tasks. 2, design for leverage from the very beginning, before you just throw more effort at a problem. 3, let data be your guide. Turn your guesswork into informed choices. 4, automate the predictable stuff so you can save your energy for the exceptional. And finally, never ever forget to build your audience and your reputation. They are assets that are just as valuable as your technical skills.
So, that brings us to the final and most crucial question, the one I want you to take away with you. Take a look at your work, at your business, at your daily projects. Which system, right now, could you redesign to scale your results without just scaling your effort? Which system will you redesign first?